My name is Darlene Brown. I'm Executive Director of Partners in Education. And Shannon, where's Shannon? She may have left. I agree with Jeremy that social media is to drive you to your website. Many times we sell tickets, or if we have a Pi membership drive or Pi Bowl or something like that, we're using Facebook or Twitter to drive people to our website. But a lot of times it's just to share the good news. And what I have been tasked with talking about today is Twitter and Instagram. And I'm going to tell you, I'm kind of a new Twitter convert. We've had a Twitter site at Partners in Education, and I personally have had a Twitter social media site for quite a while, but have never really used it. I always like Facebook because you can write kind of as much as you want, and you're unencumbered, and you can put videos and photos, and now you can go live. Well, Twitter is going to challenge your editing skills with 140 characters. So I asked if Kim Scott could come here today. She's going to follow me, and she's going to talk to you something about Hootsuite, because another thing I was wondering about was, how can I just post something one time and it go all the way across on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram? And Kim will talk about that a little bit later. But I have come to kind of love Twitter. And one of the things that you have to remember when you're using Twitter, hashtags are your friends. I know some people who will put something on Twitter and it's all hashtags. You know those people? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't quite go that far, but when I'm doing something like the 2016 Stuff the Bus, that makes it like a file system for me. I can go back and look at it. I can look at it on Facebook. I can look at it on Twitter. It's kind of really wonderful. I have learned to retweet. There are certain people that I absolutely love what they post on Twitter, and they're my friend. I'm going to retweet their good news. I'm going to help them with their promotions, as Wendy said, not their demotions. I want it to be about good news. Instagram, we are going to kind of touch on very quickly. How many of you use Instagram? Okay, that's well, some, not all, a small portion. Instagram is really photo-driven, and you probably have figured that out if you've looked at it. You have an absolutely wonderful photo you want to share, Instagram is where you're going to go. The artists that I know, most of them have Instagram accounts because they love that platform. Most of the writers that I know, they love Facebook. The people who are just out there really kind of wanting to get their word out, share information, stay in contact with people, get on the news, it's Twitter. It's interesting how people look at different platforms for different reasons. And I go back to what I said earlier, Twitter. I mean, that's what started the spring revolution in Egypt. I mean, you remember that a couple of years ago? The revolution was starting and word was getting out, and how did the people mobilize themselves? Through Twitter. Isn't that just amazing that we can have something that's so instantaneous these days, and you can connect with each other through a hashtag doing that. You can see what's actually trending. And our politicians are learning that too. Look at how they're utilizing Twitter these days. I mean, it really is a revolution in how we communicate where we are right now. And I remember the first, hey, I'm going to really date myself. I remember using one of the first fax machines where you put the little piece of paper in and it went round and round and round and picked it up. I don't know if anybody remembers that. And then, good Lord, we got email. It was like, this is a new thing. Well, I'm going to tell you, how often do I check my email versus how often do I check my social media? I check my social media much more often, and my messages on my phone. So things are just changing. It's like, who moved my cheese? We just always have to be ready to learn new and pick what you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable with Facebook and Twitter, that's fine. Don't go into Instagram. If you really love the beauty of Instagram and Twitter and really don't want to go into Facebook, that's fine too. Find what's working for you and what you're getting the feedback on. And there are, of course, we're talking two different things here. Are you doing it for your social ability, for your ability to meet and reach other people? I mean, how many people have got back in contact with old classmates and people that you haven't seen for years on a personal level? And then on your own nonprofit or your business level, you're using that, like Susan said, as a platform for selling. So I don't really look at it as selling, I really don't. I have passion, and I just am so eager to say, this is what we're doing with the money that we raise in the classrooms in Craven County schools. And I'm hoping that that comes across, because if you are selling something, then to me, you're missing the whole point of social media. So.